The soldiers fire paintball rounds, and to make it even more realistic, enemy troops wearing protective kit can be laying in wait, ready to launch an ambush.
All right, y'all, welcome back to Combat Arms channel. Okay, so today we're checking out a cool video from Forces News. This one is about some paratroopers training with the new urban battlefield simulator. So I'm always interested in these sort of like simulators because, I mean, when I was in the Marine Corps, even in the Army, we didn't really get like the best simulators as far as like going through a shoot house and having like automated targets or anything like that. We didn't really have anything that fancy. So seeing this stuff come up is really, really exciting. So I guess this particular one is in Colchester, which I'm not exactly sure where that is. And the people training in it are from the 16th Air Assault Brigade. So yeah, I mean, we'll check it out. It's about 6 minutes long, but it seems like it gives a pretty good overview of this specific simulator. So let's do it.
Modular.
This is not a basic urban training facility. This is to take already good soldiers and teach them the advanced side of that.
Okay, I like the camera angles.
It's a game changer. Inside the home of 16 Air Assault Brigade in Colchester, one of the most high-tech urban battlefield simulators anywhere in the world.
Okay, I'm not seeing anything too crazy.
Tested. Our soldiers are well trained, but the desire from 2 and 3 para came up to have a better urban training facility. So we looked at all the options and what they want.
Oh gosh, look at that. This is like something you'd find in your grandma's house. Okay, so again, I'm not seeing anything too crazy so far. I mean, we're seeing these targets, and it looks like they're also using the training rounds. So with certain simulators like this, it is nice. However, if you can't use live ammunition, you're not going to get the most out of it. And I know that's not going to be possible, especially for like advanced simulators where you might damage some of the technology. So it is still good training, but I gotta say, going through like a live shoot house is probably the most fun and just the most like realistic, where you really need to tune in because of course you don't want to end up shooting at your buddies or anything. So, okay, so we're seeing the paint rounds. We're seeing, it looks like the walls can get moved around because I'm sort of seeing some handles here. And if you can change up the shoot house layout, then that is a really, really awesome tool.
And what they wanted to do was have something on their doorstep, all weather, with the ability to do repetitions. Just like a boxer would hit a bag and a golfer would hit a golf ball over and over and over again. We needed something that was a little bit high-tech and available for the section commanders to bring their men in.
Yeah, it's awesome
and
if it's
train those repetitions.
It's like right across the street. That's
the facility is about the size of an average indoor five-a-side pitch, and within it are these movable walls, making it easy to change the configuration, move a door, or change a room layout. A system of cameras above record everything that goes on. The instructor's able to control the whole immersive experience from a tablet.
What are they controlling
exactly? Most of the world
now
lives in urban environments, which is why it's so vital these paras practice this sort of fighting. This facility can be reconfigured to be a myriad of scenarios, and then they can lay on sounds, anything from gunfire to IED explosions, even people screaming. They can then look to see how precise their fighting really is.
Okay, so the cameras are really cool, and being able to track all of that live is really cool. However, it doesn't seem that much more advanced than stuff that I've used. So we've had plenty of shoot houses. We had like ship mock-ups. We had, you know, apartment mock-ups, like whole houses and whatnot. And those had cameras as well. And the instructors would actually use that for whenever we were doing our tactical evaluation. So basically like our final test. Whenever we were doing that, they could use those cameras to sort of look back on the video. So it's not really like live tracking per se, like it's kind of looking like here. But it's kind of very similar as far as being able to monitor it. But I don't think we had any of the sound effects. I could be wrong on that. I do remember seeing speakers, so I think there was that capability. But I don't think it added too much. I mean, it kind of just gets really loud anyway when stuff starts kicking off. But I mean, it's nice to have that capability to add like someone screaming or maybe like some occupants or something. So it's kind of cool.
Essentially bringing the science of human behavior to soldiering, and all of it watched from these cameras above.
The soldiers fire paintball rounds, and to make it even more realistic, enemy troops wearing protective kit can be laying in wait, ready.
Oh, I mean, they really, really didn't like that guy. Like, he was riding this entire wall and just laying rounds into
Enemy troops wearing protective kit can be laying in wait, ready to launch an ambush. The The facility cost around £500,000 and was built by a specialist company run by former British soldiers and Royal Marines.
That's how it goes.
One of the things that we've learned as veterans is if something's too complicated and the technology that has been used previously in years gone by, if technology is too complicated to use, it won't be used. So they'll just fling it to the side, or it's too difficult to use, it's too complicated to set up. If you make it as easy as possible, and it's so much easier for the troops to use, they'll use it more. The feedback we've got from the troops that are using it on the ground is it's fantastic, so easy to use, and they've never had that much physical, tiring sort of run through training all the time. I mean, because it's easy to use, they're coming onto a facility that's on base. They can come in and use it hours upon hours upon hours.
Battle over the...
Yeah, so it's basically like a giant Lego house, which is like the cool thing. And I do like how they have this camera set up. So in the Marine Corps, we have, I forgot what it was called, but it was basically like a big village mock-up, and it had cameras exactly like this. So I think that was probably the most advanced thing that I had been in. So it's kind of similar, but it wasn't nearly the same. Like, you couldn't change anything up. I don't even think it had speakers, but we did bring in role players, so that kind of added to the realism of it. But just having these cameras is a game changer, so you can see exactly what you're doing. Because when you're in the heat of the moment, then it's not going to be as smooth as you're sort of thinking it is.
Over, the paratroopers move to a teaching room next door. In here, they review their performance, step by step, room by room.
Yeah, obviously, you've gone in that way, you've got this guy coming in that way, so he's going to take that threat, isn't he?
Yeah. Something like this, you could do it 100 times over, change all these walls around, but every time it is different. And, to keep brushing up on these skills, like, you can never do too much, you can never prepare yourself too much, do you know what I mean? So it's definitely a good thing to have here.
The firm behind this have supplied similar training facilities to the Royal Marines and the US military, and there are plans to upgrade this simulator even further. The traditional wooden targets replaced with remotely operated mannequins, each fitted with sensors to record every soldier's fire rate and accuracy, all part of a drive to bring more tech to training and make the British Army's airborne elite even more effective.
That's good stuff. Okay, so let's see. Behind the scenes, huh?
Okay, so I'm going to talk you through some of the basics.
Nice.
Of
Okay,
the
so he's going to go through the actual building.
Where we are right now and where we're going to go. So this is one of the frames. This is one of the pieces. It's modular. It's hard wearing. With an Allen key fitting, we can make any type of structure to give you a room layout.
Okay.
It's easy enough for an individual to move around the place. And that's what we've got all these.
So we had a very similar thing, except this looks way easier. So he's saying you literally just, I guess, use like an Allen key to fix it. The one that we had wasn't nearly like that. It was basically like plywood, but it was triple layer plywood. So it was like a piece of plywood, so one side is sticking out, and then on the other side you kind of have like the female end, and you would basically have all these Marines just lifting all this wood and like sliding into place. And then you'd have all these power jewels, and you would just take out the screws. Like, you wouldn't be, like putting like an Allen wrench or something like that. You would literally be taking out the screws, putting the screws back in, moving the door frame over here. So it's like, you literally just got good with power tools and moving these pieces of wood around. So it was kind of a pain in the butt. It was really awesome, especially when the instructors did it for us, and we kind of just went in and saw like a completely new layout. But I gotta say, it was kind of a break off. It was really tiring. So this looks really cool.
These white spots on the floor, so that we can actually fit it like a Tetris piece.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
The next structural point is your door. It's a simple door, but that involves a soldier having to negotiate the door, which way it opens, which way it closes, how to get through it efficiently. A little bit of tech installed in there is a sensor. What that means is that when the door opens, that will either trigger the recording to timestamp that event, or to initiate an audio effect, such as gunshots. So all of that, with just one little sensor, completely changes our ability to control the room, control the effects that are applied. The last
that's a little bit
which
more
is an
fancy.
improvement, or about to be improved, is our stereotypical old figure 11 target. So this is what we're currently shooting, unless we're doing force on force, which is the soldiers shooting at each other with the right protective gear. And it works for now. Phase 2 is looking at us buying some advanced targetry and IED plates. What that means is that instead of having this target, we'll have a 3D mannequin, probably about the same size, which will go up and down on a piston as and when you're required, if that's the target being
Awesome.
neutralized, or if that's the target responding to a door sensor, for example. All linked up. What's really important about the next phase of
yeah, a target like, so if you have the sensor and then you have targets in the room, you could have them start moving. So like we had automated targets get implemented in the Marines, but you'd have to just like control them around with like someone would literally have like a controller. But with this, if you have the door sensor, that'd be really cool because when the door opens, these targets can start sliding over or something, or maybe come up from behind cover. So that's really, really cool how they'd be reacting to these targets, reacting to the door opening.
targetry is that that target will be able to record the metrics, it'll be able to record the sound, record the individuals, but most importantly, record the non-ballistic fall of shot. So in the after-action review room, when you're negotiating who did what drill well, what drills need to be improved, you have 50%, which is you're moving around the facility. The other 50% is how were your lethal effects applied. And with an advanced metric targetry system, that's really going to take us to full operational capability. Good to go.
That's cool. And then you could even get some occupant targets and then be like, all right, who shot the occupant? Because you see like the sensor says that somebody shot it or something. This is awesome. Honestly, especially with the new target upgrades, like the capabilities are absolutely endless. But again, being able to change up the layout of the building is just so good because I mean the human mind does a really good job of just remembering stuff and trying to prepare you for something. So even if you're just like, you know, walking through something, you'll start memorizing it. And if you go through the house maybe like 1 or 2 times, you're pretty much going to know the layout. You're going to be able to predict the general layout at least. And it really takes away from the training because you're not reacting to the layout of the room. Of course, it's nice to like know the layouts, but sometimes you don't always have that intel available for you. So it's really awesome to be able to switch it up like that, especially have other people switch it up for you. Even if you like change the way that the door opens, that'll really mess with you because if the door opens one way or another way, it's going to change how people flow inside the rooms and it's going to change where they end up later on in the building, which is nice. You don't want people going through the stack in the same order, going to the same place every single time because then they're just going to get complacent with the training. So this looks really, really badass. This is some great stuff. I really want to see this get implemented with more units, especially on the US side. I know we do have some pretty cool simulators, but it's not always available and it's kind of a pain in the butt to get it available for everybody. So like they were saying with this one, if it's like right across the street from where you are, it's awesome because you can just pick up, go over there. If you have the ammo, of course, because the ammo is pretty expensive. It's nice to be able to do that. But if y'all got to train in the simulator, definitely let me know how that was down in the comment section. If you guys got to do any sort of advanced simulator, put it down below because I'd like to hear what they're sort of changing up. I think, again, being able to change the layout of the building is one thing, but having automated targets is a completely different thing. I think this is really the future for infantry training. I mean, just combat arms stuff in general, just having those automated targets, not being able to predict what's going to happen next is a really, really solid thing for this training. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Of course, I do have merch, so trying to get that too overexposed. I do have merch. If you guys want to check it out, down in the video description, you can do that. You can check out the Patreon, check out the Discord especially. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That is it for this one. I will see you all in the next one.